Welcome to Confucianism, where the way of life is propagated by Confucius in the 5th to 6th century BCE and after, followed by the people of Chinese for more than 2 millennia. Confucianism has transformed over time, in which this is still the substance of learning, the source of values, and the social code of the Chinese. Confucianism's influence has extended to other countries, particularly in Japan, Korea, and Vietnam. So what Confucianism really is? Confucianism is a philosophy based on mutual respect and kindness towards others, developed to bring peace and stability in the society. Confucianism was founded before the birth of Confucius during the Zhou dynasty and was developed and became popular after his later life during the Han dynasty. Confucianism is sometimes viewed as a philosophy and sometimes a religion, but also Confucianism can be viewed as a Western term that has no counterpart in Chinese, a worldview, a social ethic, political ideology, scholarly tradition, and also a way of life. Confucianism may be understood as an all-encompassing way of thinking and living entails ancestors, reverence, and a profound human-centered religiousness. East Asians may profess themselves to be Shintoists, Taoists, Buddhists, Muslims, or even Christians, but by announcing their affiliations, seldom do they cease to be Confucians. So since Confucianism is sometimes viewed as a religion and sometimes as a philosophy, so philosophy is a study of general and fundamental questions in which that questions involve the existence, reasons, knowledge, values, mind, and language, in which those questions may be a problem that needed to be solved. Whereas in religion, it is a belief in and a worship of a superhuman controlling power, especially a personal god or gods.
Hi everyone, for this episode is all about the contributors of Confucianism, and the first one is Kongzhi or Kongzhi, which means Master Kong. Master Kong was born in September 28, 551 BC, and he died on April 11, 479 BC. He married at the age of 19 and had a child named Kongli. Master Kong is the founder of Confucianism. He is known as the first teacher in China who wanted to make education broadly available and who was instrumental in establishing the art of teaching as a vocation. He also established ethical, moral, and social standards that form the basis of a way of life known as Confucianism.
Mencius was a Chinese Confucian philosopher who has often been described as the second sage, that is after only Confucius himself. He is part of Confucius' fourth generation of disciples. Mencius inherited Confucius' ideology and developed it further. He was born in 372 BC and died 289 BC. He is best known for his claim that human nature is good and holds that humans have innate but incipient tendencies towards benevolence, righteousness, wisdom, and propriety. He has attracted interest of his Western philosophy because his view on the virtues, ethical cultivation, and human nature have intrigued him. And that is some details about Mencius. But before I end my topic, I just want to leave a quote from him, that the great man is who does not lose his child's heart.
One of the contributors of Confucianism is Sun Kuang. Sun Kuang, also widely known as Sun Zi, is a Chinese Confucian philosopher and writer who lived during the Warring States period and contributed 100 schools of thoughts. A book named Sun Zi is traditionally attributed to him.
Episode 3: Beliefs, Traditions, and Rules. The first rule is the silver rule of behavior. Do not do unto others what you don't want them to do to you. Meaning, if you don't want to get hurt, then don't hurt others. And if you want to get treated nicely, then be nice to others. Second one is the 5 virtues. The Zhen, Yi, Li, Shi, Xin. These are the virtues that Confucianism followers need to conduct. Example of these are be righteous, be faithful, be wise, and be trustworthy. Now, the third is the 5 relationships. Each relationship must contain mutual respect to keep the relationship working. Each one of us must perform our role to the best of relationships. And one must honor and remember the members who have died. Ancestors are not to be seen as gods, but remembering them is an important action. For the tradition and rule of their marriage, some of it are likely the same to the tradition and rule of our marriage back then and now. It involves the meeting of the both families before the wedding and the engagement, the giving of money and belongings, or what we call dowry, the procession when the groom and bride will go home to the groom's house, and then marriage, of course, and lastly the morning after, when the bride will serve the groom's parents and vice versa. For the last tradition, when someone dies, the family and the friends of the deceased person will cry and mourn for him or her. They will conduct a burial ritual, and the guests will follow the coffin carrying a large branch of a willow tree. The willow tree symbolizes the soul of the deceased person. And later on, they will place it on the family altar.
Holidays and events. The birthday of Confucius, which is September 20th. They also celebrate Chinese New Year, which is on January 31st. Qingming is another key holiday that they celebrate. Chongmiotaihe is also a ceremony that they celebrate. Confucianism, the way of life propagated by Confucius in the 6th to 5th century BCE in China, and followed by the Chinese people for more than 2 millennia. Confucianism is based on the teaching of Master Kong, later Latinized to Confucius, who lived in China from 551 BCE to 479 BCE.
Status of Confucianism around the world is about 7% of the world population are true Confucianism followers. Numbers of Confucianism followers in the world is 0.9%. Countries have Confucianism including China, North and South Korea, Taiwan, and Vietnam. For China today, there are 6 million people who followed Confucianism. For North and South Korea, in 2015, 75.6 thousand people in South Korea following Confucianism. For Taiwan, in 2015, 0.7% of the population of Taiwan who followed Confucianism. And lastly, for Vietnam, over 75% of the Vietnam followed Confucianism.
Episode 6. What is the difference of Confucianism to other religions? Confucianism differs from other religions in 3 aspects. A. It has no deity, but is based instead on rules of conduct. B. It was not established in a way that competes with other religions. C. It has no large-scale institutional church with priest and ceremonial and a laity.